Hello, am I audible, Aarti ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Good morning, respected director ma'am, principal ma'am, my colleagues, and my dear students. I, Kuljit Kaur, librarian, Guru Nanak Girls College, feel honored to welcome you all in this online workshop. The topic of discussion today is use of e-resources and web OPEC. I, on the behalf of GNG family, extend a hearty welcome to resource person Dr. Rupesh Kaur, librarian, IGN College, Ladwa, and Dr. Ajay Arora, librarian, MN College, Shabad. I am sure that we will have an enriching experience today as two very learned personalities are with us. Before moving ahead with today's workshop, I would like to introduce our resource person with our college and our library in brief. Sir, our college was established by great visionary Sant Pandit Mishra Singh Ji Maharaj in 1973 with the vision to educate the daughters of the nation. As envisioned by our founder father, we at GNG College provide environment and encouragement to girls so that they acquire educational excellence and strong character. The sapling planted by Sanji has blossomed in multi-faculty postgraduate institute with highest CGPA of 3.10 in district Yamunanagar awarded by NET. The college takes pride in being one of the foremost women colleges of the state. The college offers 39 UG courses, 14 PG courses, 9 career-oriented courses, and 11 vocational courses. I take pride in sharing that R is the first college under KUK which offer a 4-year integrated BA B.Ed and BSc B.Ed courses. We have 3 hostels equipped with all modern facility to accommodate the students. The college run a fleet of 12 buses within a radius of 50 kilometers. Our college has air-conditioned library with open shelf system having more than 65,314 volume of books, 102 periodicals, 19 newspaper, and 2,421 theses and project reports. Our library is computerized, well furnished, and spacious, and has subscription of endless program of InclibNet and British Council database or teaching an advanced learner of all department has account to access those e-resources. The main motive of today's workshop is to educate all members about accessing these e-resources. And finally, I would like to welcome again our director ma'am and principal ma'am who always motivate us for such type of programs. Now, I would like to invite our first resource person, Dr. Ajay Arora, librarian, MN College, Shahabad. He is gold medalist in post-graduation from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. He is presently working as librarian Markanda National College, Shahabad, Markanda. He has professional stint in various organizations like Punjab University, Chandigarh as assistant librarian, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, Mohali campus as manager, Learning Resource Center and DAV Institute of Physiotherapy and Rehabilitation, Yamunanagar as librarian. He pursued his PhD from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra in the area of
Kuljit,
technology
sorry to
adoption
interrupt
and
you. Sorry
acceptance
to
in
interrupt you.
selected NIT libraries.
Kuljit, sorry to interrupt you. Is Dr. Roda is there? Please check first.
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
Okay, okay. Please continue.
He has more than 18 years of experience and contributed more than 20 research papers in area of information technology and services in libraries. He has convened and organized various international, national and state level conferences, seminars and competitions. He also remained as a member of editorial board of various subject journals. Now the stage is yours, sir. Please start your session.
Thank you, ma'am Kuljeet. Thank you. Thanks a lot. At the very onset, I'm very much thankful to the Guru Nanak Girls College management and especially to Dr. Mrs. Virendra Gandhi, the director of the institute, and Dr. Mrs. Anu Atreja, principal of the college, for giving me this opportunity to showcase my experience with all of you. So let me begin with, I have to share the screen. Ma'am, is it visible? Kuljit ma'am,
Yes, sir.
is my
Yes,
screen
sir. This is
visible?
visible.
Yeah, right,
Yes,
fine,
sir.
fine, right. So my topic for today's presentation is open access resources. And here I'm going to discuss about some of the resources that are known as open access. So how these open access resources are helpful in education and how they are going to change the education of the future. So my whole presentation is based on this premises. So let me begin with. So if you just see that the rising education cost nowadays is too much. So just see, this is just a picture where you may see that education is not that easy. It's not easily available. You have to pay for each and everything. So education cost is getting rise. So this is another parameter that I want to show you. This is the cost of higher education. So as far as Japan is concerned, as far as South Korea is concerned, as far as China is concerned, as far as India is concerned, if you will see the cost of higher education, that the percentage of education, it's too higher in India. Indian education system is quite expensive. So now there is another fact that I want to show you. This is the countries which are facing the greatest skill shortage. So see, India is 56% skill shortage is there. Even our education is so expensive. Our population is so much. Even then, we are lacking in skill. So you just see, this is the survey of 39,195 employers across 6 countries and 43 countries. So they are saying that 56% is available. It's the shortage of the skilled workers in India. So we are lacking somewhere. So how education, why education is required? So education is required for the growth of a nation. Economic growth is required. So why education is required? You have to socially include everyone. You have to reach out to the last possible mile. And the environmental conservation. If your education is not that much educated, then how they are going to conserve the environment? So for these purposes, education is required, but education cost is too higher. So what can be done? So this is the another United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are there, UN SDGs. These are known as. They have given 17 parameters, and they said if a country, if they adopt these 17 parameters, then definitely the countries may develop themselves. They can sustain in the future. So there on the fourth point, you will see quality education is there. Quality education is required. So if a nation wants to progress, you have to provide the quality education to your people. So this is the fourth one. So here in the fourth goal of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, it says you have to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So this is what is required. So we are in higher education. I have already discussed our education system is costlier. We are lacking the skilled manpower. So what is required? How how a nation can progress? How this country can progress? So this is you have to see, this is the chart from knowledge production to knowledge utilization. You have to have a population. You have to have a population which is innovative, which are having skills, which can then make a new products, and then you will if those products will come out, then the job will be created. So this is how this cycle of knowledge circle should be made, and here India needs to work out. So now the objectives of the education is reduce the cost, enhance access, improve quality. You have to reduce the cost is already higher. You have to enhance access, you have to reach out to the last mile, you have to improve the quality is where we are lacking. Our education is there, we are providing degrees, but are we providing the manpower which is good enough that they can handle any job, any kind of opportunities, or they can develop a new jobs? So there we need to work out. We need to improve our quality. So as far as education and skills are concerned, so new education policy is there. So it has already discussed in it that we need to work out on the education as well as on the skills. So I'm just skipping this slide. So now as the topic of the this workshop is that you have to discuss about the open educational resources. But for that purpose, we should know how this open educational resources came into existence. So it was an open movement. Open movement started. The very first thing that has come out of it was, there are few terms. There are 4 terms in these slides. You will see OA, OER, OCW, and e-learning. So OA is open access. So open access is sharing content usually of scholarly nature without a requirement for the use of an open license. This term open license, you should know this thing. Being an educationist, you should know what an open license is. So here, as far as open access is concerned, there is no need of any open license. So as far as open OER is concerned, OER is what? Open educational resources. So educational content that is shared under an open license. Again, this term has come up in the very first one. It was there was no use of an open license, whereas in the open OER, there is an use under an open license. I will tell you later on what these open licenses are. Then comes the open OCW. OCW is open courseware, sharing open content that is developed specifically to instruct a course. To instruct a course, you need to have a content that will be shared. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then the last one is e-learning one. So e-learning is electronic instructional resources that are not necessarily openly licensed. So whatever left out of these things, open access, OER, OCW, that is e-learning, from where you are learning something out of it and there is no need of any license for it. So as far as open education is concerned, we have discussed about the open movement. So as far as open education is concerned, so open education is basically amalgamation of many things. It covers OER, it covers OCW, it covers open access publishing. It also covers open contents. For example, images, videos, articles, music that you can use freely. So as far as open access is concerned and open OER, what is the difference between open access and OER? Open access is, it focuses on sharing content, but no underlying license is required. So there is a content that you want to share it with the world. You are putting it on the on digital platform. It is available for everyone. They can do anything with it. It's free of cost. They can edit it, they can modify it, it's their wish, they can do anything. This is open access. There is no need of any license. So as far as open educational resource is concerned, so open educational resource is shared under an open license. You need a license where the license will tell you what you can do and what you can't do. You may share it, you may edit it, you may modify it, but for that purpose you need a license from the person or the whosoever is making that out, who is the producer of that information. So you need a license. So as far as OER and OAR are concerned, OER and OAR are friends. So these both are the same thing, but only differences. In open access, no license is required, while in OER, license is required. So as far as OER is concerned, according to UNESCO, OER is teaching, learning, and research materials in any medium, digital or otherwise, that reside in the public domain or have been released under an open license that permits no cost access, use, adaptation, and redistribution by others with no or limited restrictions. So as far as OER is concerned, this is a quite complex definition being given by UNESCO. Let me give you in a very simple terms. These are the teaching learning material or the research material that you are putting up in any medium, be it digital or otherwise any medium, It is available in the public domain, that is in the book form also, in the form of digital media also, in the form of database itself, in the form of website itself. You may putting it up anywhere. So you have released it under open license. I will tell you again and again, this term is coming, open license. So I will discuss this open, what is open license. So that permits no cost access. There is no, for accessing it, no cost is required. You can use it, you can adapt it. Adapt it means you can modify it as per your requirement, and redistribute. You can share it with others also. So this is what open educational resources is concerned. So there are 5 R's of open education. As far as 5 open educational resources are concerned, there are 5 R's that you have to keep in mind. So one is retain. You can keep the work forever. Whatever work it is, it's being developed by anybody, it's being put up on the public domain, you can keep it with yourself. You can reuse the work again and again. The same thing can be reused. You can revise it, you can adapt it, you can modify it, you can translate it. You can, then the next is remix. You can combine it with another resources to make a new work. You may put up 2 or 3 resources at one place, and you may come up with a new resource. So that is remixing. Then the redistribute. You can share the work with others. So for these purpose, for these 5 R's, something is free and something requires permissions, and maybe the whole 5 R's are also free. So it depends on the producer of the information, who is coming up with that information, how he or she wants to put it up in the domain, in the public domain. So you must have gone through these or some of these logos while coming across some of the websites, some of the educational websites, or some of the other websites also. You may have come up with these logos somewhere at the bottom of the website. So what does that mean? It's a Creative Commons. Creative Commons means this is for the whole public. Creative Commons is for the whole public. That is probably, it probably is not open, but it can be accessed free of cost. But these are some of the, if you will see the very first logo, it says CC BY. Next logo, CC BY NC-SA. What these means, I will let you know in the next slide itself. So if you see these Creative Commons license, that license that I was discussing in my previous slides itself, open license. So this is the Creative Commons license. So there are different elements are there. The 4 major elements that you may see in these logos, if you just come across this one, and I'm discussing the same here. So it's the attribution. If you just see a person mentioning there, attribution means the person has, that person, whosoever has created that information which you are using for your own purpose, you have to give the credit to that person. You have to attribute that person. Then comes the non-commercial one. Non-commercial one, that you can use it for the academic purpose, but if you are going to earn some money out of it, then definitely you cannot use it for the commercial purpose. It's for non-commercial purpose. Then the share alike. So share alike means that you can share the thing with others, and no derivatives. The work may be used. The work may be used but not modified with. You cannot change the content of the work. You can use it, you can give the attribution, you can use it for non-commercial purpose, you can share it, but you cannot change the content. So these are some of the licenses that are available. So if you see that at the right hand side of the screen itself, how much open these licenses are. So more restricted to more open one. If you see, so these are the licenses. So here I have mentioned for the very first one, if it is given by this means, you can give the attribution is required. Attribution is required for all of these licenses. You have to give the credit to the person from where you have taken that information. So you have to give the attribution to that purpose, that person. Then copy and publish, whether you can copy and publish. So it's available with all of these licenses. But where it comes to commercial use, so only 3 licenses are there. So you have to take care of what kind of what kind of license you want to give to your content. So, or what kind of license is available with the content that you want to use. So in both ways, you may be user and you may be author. In both ways, you should know what are the different available licenses that you can use. So this is the keys to open education. So 4 key ideas are required. One is licensing. So you need a licensing of Creative Commons, and then the content is required. So it should be associated with some kind of course. You must have gone through some of the terms called massive open online courses. And even in India, we have used SWAYAM. The ARPIT is the another example where the refresher course are being conducted through a SWAYAM platform under massive open online courses one. So then you need some tools, some software. Softwares means those which are available free of cost that you can use for your own purpose, but you have to give the attribution. So this is as far as the time was concerned, I've been given 30 minutes by the ma'am. So I kept my PowerPoint slides a bit congested one, and now I will take you to some of the examples that are available in Indian scenario, not in Indian scenario, in the international scenario also, that you can use basically for your own purpose or for your students. This is archives.org. This is the open access archive of 1 crore 94 lakhs 9,044 scholarly articles in the field of physics, mathematics, computer science, qualitative biology. So the science faculty, they may use it for their study purposes or for their scholarly purposes. So this is one of the examples that you may use. Another is this one, Traditional Knowledge Digital Library. So Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, it encompasses, it is a database of Ayurvedic, Unani, Siddha, and another pathies that are, or another traditional knowledge that are available in India. That for, if you want to go through those information or the research being done on those pathies, then you can consult this website. It's a Traditional Knowledge Digital Library of India. Then comes the ePrints and CSIR explorations. So it's a open access repositories of Indian thesis in the field of science. So you can go through these this website, and this is being developed by Council of Scientific and Industrial Research in India. So it will help the science faculty member. Then the eGyan Kosh, as you may be very much aware of this eGyan Kosh, it's a national digital repository. It encompasses all the content that was being developed by open and distance learning institutions in the country. It's being maintained by IGNOU, and you can access some of the undergraduate, postgraduate resource material over there. Then comes the NPTEL. It's a National Program of Technology Enhanced Learning. It is being initiated by 7 IITs of India: IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, Guwahati, and Roorkee. And ISC Bangalore is also associated with it. So in this one, it's providing resource materials as well as videos on engineering field. So this is basically for the engineers. So another phase of NPTEL phase 2 is running. It's been run up to 2014, and these are the some of the videos and other resource material that are available on this website. Then the NCERT. So as you know, in the COVID-19 period, so all the textbook of various state or national board, CBSE, it's being made available through websites, and NCERT is doing from the last so many years. So all of the books from class 1 to class 12th, the textbooks are available on this website. So this is MIT, this is Massachusetts Institute of Technology OpenCourseWare. In OpenCourseWare is, I told you earlier, OpenCourseWare is associated with some course, the material which was associated with some course. So MIT is providing the whole of their content through this portal. Then TUFTS Open Courseware, it's a Tufts University Open Courseware. I told you Open Courseware is associated with some course that was being run by the university. So they are providing it open to whole of the population of the world. Now there comes we face a problem while accessing resources, because whenever we are searching for the resources, the whole major chunk of the resources are on the subscription based. So right now cost is a constraint. We people are not getting that information free. So to pay the hefty amount, that much fund is also not available. So this is one of the another portal that you can access. It contains directory of open access journals, those journals which are available openly, that you may access anytime free of cost. Whole of the articles that are being published in these journals that are free of cost, that you may use for your scholarly research purpose. So it covers lot many journals in it, so you can access this portal also. Now this is a project Gutenberg. It covers about 50,000 free ebooks, and it's being here. Google was also associated with this project. So many of the ebooks that are available free, and those which are more than 50 years old, that are available freely on this portal. Now here comes this freely accessible academic books, mainly in the area of humanities and open sciences. You need to access this portal. It's a OA Open. It's OA is for the open access, and open, you know that is free of cost. So open access, OA Open, you may access to get an access to academic books of humanities and social sciences. So this is for the literature faculty members, and if somebody wants to learn English, so BBC is providing this service, and they are providing their content as well as videos in the form of dramas, in the form of conversations, that you may access through this bbc.co.uk/learning English. So here you can access some of the resources on English language. So another, this is another portal or website, the Busuu. It's a Busuu is if you want to, if you or your students want to learn some other language, so they can access this portal. So it provides you can do your exercise for 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes. That depends on you. So you can learn another language also, and this is one of the portal that you or your students may access. So this is another portal as the same purpose, Duolingo. Duolingo is also doing the same thing. If you want to learn some of the languages, see here Hindi is also being given a place. So your students or you can access this also. So this is newspapers. If you want to read the newspapers of the whole world itself that are available freely, openly, that you can, then you have to access this onlinenewspapers.com. So you have to go there, and there you see North American, Caribbean, Africa, South America, Central America, Asia, and Middle East. So all of the newspapers that are available free of cost, or which you can access from around the world, that is available through this website itself. So with this, I conclude my session today. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful and knowledgeable session. I hope everyone has learned a lot from this session. Now, I would like to invite our second resource person, Dr. Rupesh Gaur. Dr. Rupesh Gaur, librarian, IGN College, Ladwa. He has awarded PhD from KUK. He worked as librarian, IGN College, Ladwa now. He worked as librarian in NC College, Israna, Panipat, as library professional in supervisory capacity at National Hydroelectric Power Corporation from 2004 to 2007. Now he is working as librarian and head of the Department of Library Information Science at Indira Gandhi National College, Ladwa. He has established his credential as a distinguished librarian by organizing and holding national workshops and conferences related to the functioning of library. He is a Vice President of Indian Library Association, General Secretary of Haryana Library Association, and fourth member of Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. More than 12 students completed their MPhil under his guidance and supervision. Dr. Rupesh Gaur has contributed 15 research papers and articles to leading library science journals and conferences. His area of specialization is ICT and user education. Now, the stage is yours. Please start your session.
Thank you, Kuljit, for giving a nice introduction. Most respectable Dr. Mrs. Virendra Gandhi ji, Director of Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Yamnagar, and Dr. Anu Atreja, Principal Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Yamnagar, Workshop Organizer, Mrs. Kuljit, Librarian Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Yamnagar, all the faculty members and the students of uh, the college. It's given me the immense pleasure to wish you all the pleasant morning, and at the outset, I take this opportunity to thanks to director, principal, and organizer for having invited me as a resource person in this workshop to share with you all at important resources, that is list. First, I share my presentation. Kuljit, it is visible now.
No, sir.
Kuljit ma'am, it is
Yes,
visible.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is it?
Sir, please share again.
Okay. Dear friends, we are living in the Google world and we want all information to be available at mouse click. Maybe the century back or maybe in the 50 years back, we used to go to the libraries and totally depend on the printed source of information. Maybe in the form of printed books, printed journals and conference proceeding, newspapers, etc. Everything was on paper. But in the recent year, thanks to the information and communication technology, we are able to generate all information not only in very good printed form, but also in the electronic form. There was a birth of e-resources. Now the questions come to what is e-resources? The e-resources are those resources which are available in the electronic form, which can be accessed using electronics device like laptop, palm top, smartphones, etc. These electronic resources are occupying a lot of space in our daily life. So it's called digital world, online world, virtual world, or in the form of online payment, online learning, resources, online shopping. Everything is available online. We are expect all the resources through online world. Now, these resources are categorized in two types. One is online and another is one is offline. Online resources, these resources which is available on web, www, through internet connection, we can download, we can use these online resources. And Another one is offline. Offline resources is these resources which is available in a electronic form, but it's are downloaded or it's are stored on a hard disk or a computer, on a laptop, on a palm top or a pen drive or so on. So these type of resources are called as offline resources. And these resources are categorized in a free or open access resources. Free or open access resources are clearly elaborated by previous speaker as Dr. Ajay Arora ji. And another resource is called hybrid resource, hybrid journal or a subscribed model. Hybrid journal is that journal or that resources which is available. Some of the issues or some of the articles are available on a paid base, on paper payment base, or some issues are available on a payment base, or some issues are available on a free of cost. And another one is subscribed and paid and commercial e-resources. Some of the journals are published by the publishers are online on a payment based mode, and another one is open education resources. These resources are also elaborated by the previous speaker, Dr. Arora ji. Then, keeping in view of these all resources through to the users, as far as the affordable price, because in today's scenarios the e-resources available in very costly thousands rupees we have to pay for these resources, like Spocops index journal, Web of Sciences index journals. These resources are costly, so though we are able to purchase it, but there is a limited resources are available for libraries, and few are affordable or most we cannot afford. So because these resources, we have to provide the resources to the our end user. We need some models. We have to create some models like in consortia models, because every librarian are interested to extend the e-resources 25 by 7 to the user. These resources are accessible to the 365 days and with the minimum infrastructure. We because our as far as these our Haryana libraries are concerned, we have less amount of scarcity of funds are also available. Less amounts of funds are extended to our institutions. So uh, and most of the libraries are facing this type of problem. The birth of consortia emerged with our librarians. These consortia is nothing. Consortia is basically a group of libraries having a list of resources, and create a group to bargain the publishers to reduct to have the discounts from the users. These resources, these consortia are emerged from time to time. Coursera, DAE, Indian Institute of Management Libraries are creating consortia in 2001, and CSIR laboratories are created consortia in 2002. Engineering institution or libraries are created consortia in 2003. It's called INDEST, AICT consortia. Health libraries are also created consortia in 2003. UGC Infonet based libraries also created consortia in 2004. As today's topics, that is enlist, it is also a form of consortia. The eShow Sindhu UC Infonet is created a consortia of eShow Sindhus in 2016, and after some time UGC's emerged three independent consortia: UGC Infonet based library consortia, Enlist consortia, Indest AICT consortia. It, all these consortia created a combined consortium called E-Shodh Sindhu. Through E-Shodh Sindhu's InfilmNet are providing a project or a project model to our libraries as far as the college libraries, that is called NLIST. NLIST stand for National Library Information Service Infrastructure for Scholarly Content. This program was funded by MHRD under NEME National Mission for Electronics ICT Education through ICT to extend access the selective e-resources to the colleges covered under Section 12B of UGC Act as well as the non-aided colleges from 2010 to 13. We are also subscribing this consortia that is called NLIST. The program was observed under UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium as college component from year 2014 being funded by UGC. Now question is, how can I access these resources through NLIST? Your college should submit an application. I think as Kuljit has presented in starting, the college are subscribing the NLIST program. So all the colleges having the 12B status, these they can submit the application online or offline mode, get an invoice or quotation, make payment, and create user and password from the all library users. If the college are subscribing the NLIST program, the all bona fide user of the college, whether it is students or staff members, all are eligible to get an access from this NLIST program and have a computer with internet connection and access the resources at home, hostel, libraries, department, browsing center, etc. And what can we have in NLIST? Now question arises, what can we have? A college component of the E-Shodh Sindhu consortium with access to 6,000 plus journals and 1,90,500 ebooks under this list, and approximate 6 lakh ebooks are also available through NDL. NDL is National Digital Library of India. This is also, the NLIST are also providing a link through this consortium to the NDL, National Digital Library of India. Now, when you are typing the NLIST on a Google, you will find the link of a NLIST InfilmNet portal. When you access this portal, you found this type of page on your computer. Home page, about, members, register, e-resources, search. And the eligible institutions who can all government aided
सर
colleges. Gee, yes.
सर आपकी पीपीटी मूव नहीं हो रही है. योर पीपीटी इज नॉट मूविंग.
Okay, okay. Not visible
यस सर.
or it moving?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now the question who are eligible have, as I've already said, the colleges having the status of 12B are eligible, and non-government colleges except agriculture, engineering, management, medical, pharmacy libraries are not eligible, or nursing libraries are not eligible. Then you have a link to for registered user. Click on that login page. The persons who are having the registered email ID from the college administrator, generally librarian are the administrator of the colleges for enlist program, and another link is also available, the college administrator. The password, every students or a teacher who are interested to get an access from this enlist program, they may contact to the your college librarian. He or she can provide a username ID or password to the members for login. Now the status of the beneficiary college, about the summary statistics is also available. Approximate 3,230 colleges are member of this consortia program, that is enlist, and 4,43,532 is active users, and about 48,000 users are activated in the September 2021. This is also after scrolling of this web page, you can also get the link from the user link, other links, contacts, and email are also available on this web page. And about, as we have already said, this is the program of InfilmNet. InfilmNet is the sister concern or a organized independent autonomous body funded by University Grant Commission Information Library Network. This is the program in a project entitled National Library Information Service Infrastructure for Scholarly Content, that is enlist, being jointly executed by eShod Sindhu Consortium. And the members, when you go to the members page, there is an four drop down links are available: how to join, college status, state-wise list, search colleges. Then how to join, there is an, I've already said the colleges are covered under 12B are eligible to access this. Annual membership fees is 5,000 membership fees and 900 is GST charges. Or the non-added colleges, 35,400 membership fees and 5,400 is GST. Then member college status, these statistics are really discussed with you. Search by college, you can also search by college name. Your college's name is also available in this list. Guru Nanak Girl College, Kurukshetra, registered in December 2010. State-wise status are also available in this portal. Then in Haryana, 91 colleges are subscribing this enlist program. You can register. Click on the register link. There is a page available for registration. And college admin status. The college admin can log in this college login admin page, and college from this college login page, you can see the user statistics. As the page is presenting you, this is the usage page of my college. Here you can see the person who are using. Suppose in August, Mr. So and so persons are using 26, downloading 26 page, Mr. So and using 6 page. The college, through this college login, the college admin can see the user statistics, or even these user statistics are also included in college footfall as far as the NAC purpose. You can add this footfall in your library footfall also. The lessons fair use, as all these resources available under this program is copyrighted material. So be careful when you are using uh, this these resources through this Enlist program. These are our licensed uh, documents. Be fair and frequently asked questions are also available on the website. You can some set of questions are available on this uh, frequently asked question. Who can, what is Enlist program, who can benefit from Enlist, how do you eligible colleges register Enlist program, do the eligible colleges have the payment fees, all these questions, predefined pre elevated questions are available on frequently asked questions on this uh, frequently asked question tools. And this is one of the important uh, link is available, that is download a link. You can download the list of journals. Suppose the American Institution of Physics having 18 title. You can download the list of the journals available uh, under 18 title. What is किस किस प्रकार के टाइटल कौन कौन जर्नल्स यहाँ पर अवेलेबल हैं, यू कैन डाउनलोड दिस. Or Enlist brochures are also available. Enlist manuals, using manuals you can download. Enlist user login manual, college admin manuals, all downloads are materials are available under this download page. And awareness program on Enlist, awareness program or Enlist are also mm, conducting some awareness program. The list of the programs are going on in these times. You can see on the this portal. Region-wise online awareness programs are also conducting. Brochures are available. If the anybody interested to uh, conduct the program, they can contact with the Enlist or attend the program. You can see this, download this brochure and join this program accordingly. E-resources are available. This is very important link for the user. E-resources available. Click on the e-resources link. The list of the resources available on this page, like e-journals, full text e-journals, American Institute of Physics 18 title, annual review 33 titles. The list, all the journals subscribed under these programs are available in on this page. You can click, go to the next. Same the ebooks, Cambridge books online 1800 titles, eBrary 1,85,000 title, Ibesco host, Hindustan book agencies, Institute of South Asian and Oxford scholarship, Springers, Taylors, most of the important and publishers around the world are also available on this. We can download the ebooks through this portal from the these publisher, Oxford, Springers, and Sage, Taylors, etc. Now, when you are click on page, like if you want to get access from the this link American Institute of Physics, click on that uh, hyperlink, go to the next page, and then the username or and the passwords you can enter, then login, then members consents page are also available on your will be available on your page, then accept it and go to the next page. Then you will land to the publisher site. The sites is publisher sites are available. Then here you can find the all publications of the publishers of API, American Institute of Physics. Suppose you are interested to get the articles from this journal, that is Journal of Mathematical Physics. Click on that and then you can pay on the page of Journal of Mathematical Physics, and then click on the browse link, and then you can find the table of content. On the table of content page, you can scroll down this page and found the articles available on these issues, that is August 2021, and click on, suppose if you these articles you are interested to get the full text article of that particular title, click on that, and you can go to the next page and download it as a PDF page. When you click on the PDF link, then you can find the article in a PDF form. Using this type of procedure, you can download articles from on your area of interest and share articles also. Click on share link, email it to Facebook, LinkedIn, recommend it to the librarians, Twitter. Click on that menu. You can share it to the others, faculty members, students, or so on. Then you can also download the citation, export citation. If you are doing PhD, or you are writing an article, you are interested to export the citation for the referencing purpose, click on the export citation, and this page you can download the article citation data. These citation data are export to the all citation styles like Mendeley, Zotero, or you can export it on your Word file also. You can also create and references through Word, using when you are using Word, create references. You can upload this data you are downloaded from this citation data. Alerts, you are subscribe alerts, journals alerts. When you are clicking on alerts, then you find a list of art journals are available. You can click on that particular journals, then you subscribe it for alerts. When the journals are published new issues, the alerts are emailed to your subscribe email ID. And as far as news letter alerts are also available, you can check on the these links and subscribe this newsletter alert also. Topic alerts, if the student are interested in the different topic, electronics, uh, chemical physics, and so on, all nuclear physics, you can click on that particular topic area and subscribe it. When these articles available on this type of areas, and the email will be sent to your email ID, subscribe email ID. You can also favorite add the favorite list also in your uh, through your login, and add these favorite articles in your favorites also. And search, suppose the search, save search also, you can search, save the search articles of suppose the persons are search for nuclear physics, then we found a result of approximate 3,32,000 something documents available. Then click on the articles you are interested to save relevant article. Then you can save this search on your login ID, and you can be filter using the filter tab. Suppose you are interested on a chemical element or material, click on these fields. You can filter these search at your own level also. Mall filters are also available. Authors, publications filters are available. You can use these filter to reduce your search or be specific or to be your specific for yours to minimize your search. And the save search, you can save the search your searched articles. And now through using this procedure you can download the article from the journals. The same, how to access ebooks. Ebooks, as we have already said, the ebooks are links are available. Suppose you are interested to library ebooks, click on that link, then you can land it to the page of the publisher page. When you search the article, like you are interested on the article on history, click on the search for history, then you find the result of history articles, then click on that particular article ebook you want to get it, then download buttons are available, you can download it, and tables contents are available, copyright contents, forwards, acknowledgements are also available of these ebooks, and click on the download, review download, and then you can find the ebooks in a digital PDF form. You can save it at your laptop, mobile, or a desktop also. Thank you. And your questions are invited. Anybody are interested to ask some questions on that particular topic? Kuljit? कुलजीत आवाज नहीं आ रही है? Yes.
Yes, excuse me, sir.
जी जी जी.
These enlist programs are available only for students, not for only for teachers, not for students. Sorry.
No. Anybody can access. You can.
And,
You
but past
can
that, okay, it
provide.
is.
जी मैडम.
If we are providing password to the students, then they can also access these.
Yes, madam. They can access. और किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना है?
पूछती हूँ. Uh, no, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. I have a question from Dr. Ajay Kumar Arora ji. Sir,
Ji.
Sir, I want to ask, how can we apply for these licenses which you have illustrated? I mean, if I just say, if I have a resource and I just say that it is under Creative Commons license, so will that be okay? Or I need to apply somewhere to some government authority for getting that particular kind of license?
Basically, ma'am, you have to go to the Creative Commons website. There you have to register your content there as whatever license you want to apply for. The Creative Commons will give you that. It is free of cost.
All categories of Creative Commons licenses are free of cost?
Yes, it's free of cost, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so do we need some lawyer, etc., or can we apply on our own for
On your
these
own
licenses?
itself. You don't need any lawyer.
Okay.
एक्चुअली
Okay, thank you,
मैं
sir.
थोड़ा इसमें ऐड करना चाहूँगा. ये जो आपके पास आइकन्स अवेलेबल हैं, आप अपने जो डॉक्यूमेंट है उसकी नेचर को, सपोज यू वांट टू गेट इन ओपन टू ऑल, यू कैन यूज दिस लोगो फ्रॉम द क्रिएटिव कॉमन वेबसाइट एंड embed this logo in your document.
Okay.
You need not
Okay,
get
sir.
any license from a written license from an authority. जस्ट आप उसको जो भी आइकन आपको दिया है उसको अपने डॉक्यूमेंट में इंसर्ट करें और उसको पुट कर दें. ये आप पे डिपेंड है, आप चाहते हैं कि उसको कमर्शियल करना या आप उस चाहते हैं कि उसको फ्री करना, वो जिस भी लेसन्स को आप चाहते हैं उस लेसन्स का आप आइकन लेकर उस पर अपने जो डॉक्यूमेंट है उसमें इंसर्ट कर सकते हैं। क्यों अजय, यही यही है ना, सही है ना?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
जी।
Thank you so much, sir, for this fruitful session.
Request to all the participants to please switch on their cameras. Prabjot ma'am, what you are saying? Please repeat.
Thank you so much, sir, for this fruitful session. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Mrs. Meena Goyal for official vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kuljit. Thank you so much, Dr. Rupesh, Dr. Ajay Arora, for sparing your valuable time from your busy schedule and accepting our invitation in such a short notice. Truly, in this electronics era, availability of literature has become easy in the sense that library resources are now available electronically and can be easily accessed through different platforms, as the sir suggested, Ajay sir and Rupesh sir, from the comforts of our homes. It will definitely save time of the students and will increase the efficiency of both academic and as well as library staff. On behalf of our institution, I extend my hearty vote of thanks to you, sir, for sharing valuable information with us on the topic use of e-learning resources and web OPE. I would also like to thank our college director, Dr. Mrs. Varinder Gandhi, and Principal Dr. Anu Atreja for always encouraging us to organize such kind of events, and to our computer department for providing us the technical support throughout this program for smooth running of this program. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Neena ma'am. Thanks to all. Now, you can leave the meeting.
Kuljit ma'am, can we have a photograph?
Yes, ma'am.
All are requested to please turn on your cameras. And please adjust your cameras also. Neena ma'am, you are not visible. Yes ma'am, now visible. Thank you.
Passion की photographs तो प्रभजोत मैम ने
Thank you so much everyone. I request everyone to please fill the feedback form. If you have not filled it, we are circulating in the chat box again. So all the students and teachers are requested to please fill the feedback form of today's event. Thank you.